I want to talk you through my resolutions review for the month of June. We are now at the beginning of July. I chose June because I am quite pleased with the way things worked out in June. I've gone through some difficulties and I want to talk about those when I look at the 6-month review, which will be the next video. For the moment, we're going to look at how I carry out my resolutions review at the end of each month. I do this in order to keep myself on track and to pep myself for the coming month. So this is the bullet journal for the first 6 months of 2026. What we're going to do is to look at the tracking pages for June, and specifically we're going to look at the tracking pages for creativity and writing in June. So the plan is to work through the tracking pages and then transfer the information into the resolution review. So what I do at the end of the month, a couple of days into the following month, is take the tracking pages and I tot up the totals. It's a kind of bookkeeping. I need my ruler, I need my pen, and I very probably need my calculator. And I'll take my glasses off as well because it's not going to work otherwise. So first of all, we go down the columns here, and let's see. The first column here to the left, you can see two things. You can see blue lines, which indicate creativity. Each block represents a different sort of creativity in a day. And then you can see the round circles, and the round circles represent hours writing, specifically hours writing. So if I go down this line by using the ruler, I can see that I have 29 days out of 30 that I did at least 1 hour writing. We run down the hours and top them up, and we come to a total 101 writing hours. Run down the A column. The A column is morning pages, and I have 2 days when I didn't do morning pages, so there are 28 days when I did my morning pages. And the H column, which also has stars in it, this is time spent working on my Obsidian Notes database, and there are 3 days when I did not, so that is going to be 27. And then we're going to count up all the words written. These are words written digitally in the computer, which I have then recorded here. 10,025 words in the B column. The B column is quarrying and notes. So taking my morning pages, going through the morning pages, finding things that I want to record more permanently, and putting them into my Obsidian Note database. Plus, if I've been reading something and I want to make notes on it, if I have been viewing a video, a YouTube video perhaps, and want to make notes on it, then I'll put those also into the Obsidian Notes. The C column is my diary, and it looks like I have written 7,640 words for the diary. The diary is something I try to do once every week. The D column is my social media, my comments, my responses on social media, my letters. The E column is my blog posts and video script. The F column are short pieces, especially poetry and flash fiction that I might have attempted. And then finally there's the G column, which is quite sparse in June, but this is my longer writing. So I have a novel that I'm working on. I have memoirs that I'm trying to write. Over here, in this column, I have my total words, and my total words comes to 30,520. Once I have completed the tracking pages, once I have done the bookkeeping for the tracking pages, the next step is to write the resolution review. The idea behind the resolution review is not to beat myself up about things I have not done. The idea is to be upbeat and positive about things I have achieved. And I found over the years, well, months that I've been doing this, I have found the easiest way to maintain that is to follow a formula. So when I write my resolution review for 1 month, I refer back to what I wrote the previous month, and I try to use more or less the same structure. It makes life easier. In fact, it makes the whole process quicker. So that's what we're going to do. First of all, I put a ribbon into the resolution review for May, which I will refer back to. I put a ribbon in the tracking page for June, which I will also refer to. And then finally, we come to the pages for the resolution review here in June. So the first thing is the writing resolution. Let's take my glasses off. Tell you what, I will look at my resolution, which is at the beginning of the book. The writing resolution is write daily in longhand and or digitally and aim to produce an average of 1,000 digitally written words daily on average throughout the year. So, aiming to produce 1,000 words on average digitally throughout the month. Back to the writing resolution for June. The first question I have to answer is, did I write daily? Well, yes, we've established that. I wrote daily on 29 days of 30 throughout the month. And I counted digital words on 29 days of 30. And just to compare what I wrote in May, I wrote daily on 29 days of the month. I counted digital words written on 22 days. So June is an improvement on May. Fantastic. The next bullet is the word count for the month. My word count for the month was 30,520 words. That averages out at a little over 1,000 words per day. And if I look back again to May, what I see is that my word count for the month was 14,460 words. I can say I have doubled my writing in June compared to May. And then I wrote more than 1,000 words a day on 14 days. And as we know, I counted 101 writing hours during the month. It's not one of my resolutions, but at the beginning of the book, I have my rules for writing, which I mentioned in the previous video. Rule number 1 is write. If you don't write, nothing will happen. I think I've established that in the month of June, I wrote. Rule number 2, you have to finish what you start writing. Did I finish things? Well, it's a difficult one for me, but yes, I did. I published 1 blog post on the Pens Around the World website. I wrote 5 diary entries during the month. I wrote 2 video scripts. I counted words written in the poetry column on 5 days. I wrote morning pages on 28 days of 30, and I used the Obsidian database on 27 days. So I have completed things, and also by virtue of that, I've also satisfied rule number 3, which, having finished something you have written, you must share what you have written for feedback. And that is exactly what I did in terms of my blog post and my videos. I am very satisfied with my performance in terms of the writing resolution in June. I think I can do better, but it was extraordinary to be able to produce so many words, especially by comparison to the poor output that I had in May, and I have to say in April and in March as well. So that's the writing resolution. I'm also going to write up my reading resolution while I'm here. I read daily throughout the month on 30 days of the month. However, I only read in a book on 17 days. It was more than May. I completed one novel, This Mournable Body by Tsitsi Dangarembga, and one autobiography, If This Is a Man by Primo Levi. I started reading a novel, The Rose Fields by Philip Pullman. Other reading was in The Guardian, the London Review of Books, the Poetry Book Society's magazine, and a few other things. So that is my resolution review as far as writing and reading goes. Thank you very much for following this. I hope you found it useful. And I say, as I have said previously, using the bullet journal has helped me immensely. One of the things that I like about it is that it is extremely flexible, and you take what you want from it and adapt it to your situation. The way I've set it up and the way I've demonstrated is what suits me. Take what you can from this, what is helpful, and anything that isn't helpful, just ignore and move on. But I hope there has been something that's useful in this, and that you have found something useful also in my other videos. The next video I'm going to make about the bullet journal will be the 6-month review. And it's a way of reviewing the whole of the half year and thinking about how I need to change, where I need to put my efforts for the next 6 months up until the end of the year. And of course, at the end of the year, then there'll be a review of the whole year, which is where I decide what my goals, what my resolutions are going to be for 2027. Thank you very much, and I'll say cheerio for now. Bye-bye.